Happy first week of December. We have some very exciting new book releases coming this month and this week. I'm Morgan, so we won't babble too much. We're just going to have time steps between each of the genres we talk about, and let's go ahead and get started. We'll start off with fantasy. Our first book up is Days of Shattered Faith by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is the third book in the Tyrant Philosopher series, which until this book came out, I do not think it had a series name. I really don't remember seeing it when the second book came out. In this one, I do believe we're also following entirely new characters. I didn't read book 2 though, so one of these characters could have showed up in that one. We're following though Lauret, who is fresh off the boat and just in time, as she is part of the, what is it called? Empire? Palatine? Right. That is the empire that is sweeping over the world where this is set, as they are trying to prove that there's the correct way to live. They're going to teach everybody the correct way to live and pretty much quash all the other gods that have showed up, which was a big part of the first book and the second book. Well, this one, though, follows, it seems, a member of the actual Palatine themselves, and she is here in another country where they have not spread their influence to. She's part of a cohort that is the feelers of them as they start to go and kind of spread the message a little bit and just scope out the scene. And she's going there to serve under somebody who she finds just in time to serve as the second in this somebody's very illegal duel. And we follow from there. I almost sometimes want to give this another shot. I don't know. It's just I didn't like how a lot of the first book went. And our other fantasy book that is highly anticipated by myself and lots of people is coming out on December 6th. This is going to be Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson. Book 5 in the Stormlight Archive series is the end of the first story arc of this 10-book series, and I anticipate a time jump. I think most people anticipate a time jump similar to how he did in Mistborn. But this is going to be the culmination of what all of these books have been building up to. The epic battle between the forces of good, not really good, but just people versus the forces of divinity, kind of. Yeah, I can't explain how this one works. The Stormlight Archive, though, takes place within Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere universe on the planet of Roshar. Reviews abound. I have my own. Everybody has their own, or updates, things. It's an awesome series. Super epic fantasy, in-depth, multi-POV, far-reaching, far-escaping world building. Amazing. I'm not doing a good job describing this. I feel like I've just talked about it so much I shouldn't. I don't know. And do you really need to sell this series to people anymore? Probably not. We're going to move on to one that might be more fantasy than romantasy. It's hard to say right now. It might end up being more romantasy, but I'm going to say it right here before romantasy. It's the last one by Rachel Housewell Hall. Thrown into a desolate land of sickness and unnatural beasts, Kai wakes in the woods with no idea who she is or how she got there. All she knows is that if she cannot reach the Sea of Devour, even this hellscape will get worse. But when she sees the village blacksmith fight invaders of unspeakable skill, she decides to accept his offer of help. Too bad he's as skilled at annoying her as he is at fighting. I see where the romance might come in. Okay. Its cover is super intriguing. I really thought this had released last year. And then I read the comments of it was supposed to, and it's apparently been delayed several times. But it has the release date, and so hopefully it comes out. Then our for sure romantasy is going to be A Glow of the Everflame by Penco. This one is being trad published this week. It was previously indie published along with the first 3 books of this series that started with Spark of the Everflame, where it says, in a mortal world colonized by gods and ruled over by the descended their cruel offspring, Diem Bellator yearns to escape the insular life of her poor village. And I guess after her mom disappears, she finds out more about her past and lots of things. This series has blown up recently, and I've heard good things and then meh things about it. I'm intrigued to eventually try it, along with everything else that I eventually, wish to try. I'll get around to it. We're going to move into sci-fi with the second one in the Chaotic Orbits novella trilogy. So it's a trilogy of shorter novellas, which I still find to be a very interesting concept, and I want to try the first book. The second book, though, is How to Steal a Galaxy by Beth Revis. The first one is following a space heist where Ada Lamar has gotten stuck on a wrecked spaceship that she is trying to recover. But she gets picked up by the government salvage crew who just thinks she's there doing the same thing that they are, not knowing that she's actually kind of a criminal. And now she is having to still work with a shady agency as she's infiltrating. Is it a ball? So she is infiltrating a gala trying to steal some rare items for this kind of shady agency. And her male counterpart that works for the government, who picked her up on the wrecked ship and didn't know that she was, not on the up and up, has volunteered his services to work here at this gala to try to ensnare her. That is as much of the description I think I can give, and it's not exactly a spoiler, except that, they're both alive. On to our YA, which is also a sequel book, and the conclusion of a duology. That would be To Shatter the Night by Catherine Quinn. This is the conclusion of the Mistlands duology that started with To Kill a Shadow. Some fear the darkness. It's the place where horror hides, concealing its rank, sharp teeth and insatiable hunger. But there is no darkness more feared than that of the mist that's overtaken the kingdom and its brave and ultimately doomed soldiers. Except for Kira Frey. She has nothing to fear from the night. Not anymore. Moving into thriller, we have Havoc by Christopher Bolin. The war between age and youth has never been so vicious. This is supposed to be themed around the story The Bad Seed. 81-year-old widow Maggie Burkhart came to the Royal Karnak to escape, but not in quite the same way as most other guests who were relaxing at this threadbare luxury hotel on the banks of the Nile. Maggie, a compulsive fixer of other people's lives, may have found herself in hot water at the last hotel in Switzerland and just might have needed to get out of there fast. But here she is, merely the sweet old lady in room 309. One morning, however, Maggie notices a new arrival at check-in, a mournful-looking young mother named Tess and an impish 8-year-old Otto. Eager to help, Maggie invites them into her world, but it isn't long before Maggie realizes that her longing to be part of their family, she has let an enemy much stronger than she has bargained for in. I said those words a little bit backwards. She has let in an enemy much stronger than she has bargained for. Ending on fiction this week, we have Rental House by Wei Wong? Sorry. Kiru and Nate are college sweethearts who marry despite their family differences. Kiru's strict Chinese immigrant parents demand perfection. To use a dishwasher is to admit defeat, says her father, while Nate's rural white working class family distrusts his intellectual ambitions and foreign wife. Some years into their marriage, the couple invites their families on vacation at a Cape Cod beach house and later to a luxury Catskills bungalow. Kiru, Nate, and their giant sheepdog navigate visits from in-laws and unexpected guests, all while wondering if they have what it takes to answer the big questions. And this is supposed to be looking at intergenerational family and expectations. Yeah, things. Well, those are all the ones that I have for you this week. It did feel like another smaller list. I still hope that maybe you were able to find something that you want to pick up, either a new series to start because it's concluding, or most of these were sequel books. If there's anything that I didn't mention, though, that you want to let people know about that's coming out this week, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. I hope that you're having an excellent day, finding something great to read. You'll want to subscribe to come back to next week's new books, and I will see you next week.